Hi, Peyton. See if do it. Hi, everybody. Hey, Creator Mom. Oh no, the sand is blowing. Tangled mess. It's always so tangled. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? My audio coming in okay. Hi guys, I'm Aphrodite Rose Starfire. Welcome to my channel. Can you hear me? Can I have a thumbs up? It's so nice and warm today. Is it coming in clearer? Hi Cadence, what's up? Can you hear me? I might get sunburned. I might get sunburned. Can somebody say I'm okay on the sound, please? If I don't get any thumbs up, then I know you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Thank you, Rachel. So, I'm getting sandblasted. Okay, cool. Thanks, Cadence. Thanks, Creator Mom. So, happy Super Bowl. I'm single. Single. Oh, man. This Matrix, I swear. I swear. I swear. Dimitri's gone. He is gonzo. And it's really weird how it worked out. I finally got, so he had been staying in my beach apartment all day while I go to work every day. And I said I wasn't having that, you know, before we even moved in. I said I wasn't going to do that. And he supposedly would go look for work every day, but I know he really wasn't. He was just like walking around in the sun, enjoying the nature and crap, but did not find any work. So, yeah, I can't support a grown man for 3.5 years. I'm only one woman. everything. I would be damned if I can go to work every day and he just sits on his butt. And so, no, he does not have a work visa, Drew. Drew, my like simp of all time, stalker. No, he doesn't have a work visa. He came here illegally during COVID. Well, he came here legally, but then he overstayed. So he's off back to... Okay, so I finally got up the nerve. I finally did it. It was really hard. I bought a ticket for him back to Canada. And it was hard because my car is still not working right. So I was trying to wait till I get my car fixed. But then I was just like, I just need to move on. And we weren't really being romantical since my mom's house, and he acted up on me about the transmission, and I just like was over it. But I finally got up the nerve to buy him. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy a ticket and I'll just rent a car and drive him to the airport, because my car right now is not capable of driving to the airport on the freeway. The transmission's that bad. So I was just like, I'm gonna rent a car and drive him. So I bought a plane ticket, and it's for February 3rd. And I bought it at the beginning of the week, this week. And I didn't tell him about it because I kind of felt bad, and he was being kind of nice. And then I was gonna tell him on Friday after I got home from work that I bought him a ticket. And Thursday night, go to bed, hear bang, 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 bang on my door. Hey Dan, what's up? I hear bang, 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 bang on my door, like 9 o'clock Thursday night. And I'm just like, I'm in bed, Dimitri's on the couch, and I'm like thinking that it's my crazy neighbor. Hey Shadow and Light, what's up? And then I just kind of lay there like he's gonna go away. And then again, bang, 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 bang. So I'm just like laying there, I'm like, just go away, just go away. And then again, bang, 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 bang. So I'm like, oh my God. So I get up. Of course, Dimitri's not gonna get up and answer the door. He's just sitting there on the couch, kind of like, oh, you know. And then I go answer the door, and it's this guy there who looks identical to Dimitri, pretty much. He's like, is Dimitri here? I'm like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Sergey, his brother. I'm like, hold on. And I close the door, and I'm like, Dimitri, your brother's here. He's like, what? I'm like, your brother is at the front door? So it's like, so then Dimitri goes to the door, and he's like, oh, Sergey. And Sergey's like, come on, let's party. And then Dimitri's like, oh, I'm going to go now. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to go with my brother. I'm like, all right. Like, I didn't get any introduction to his brother. Like, hey, this is Kimberly. Like, nothing. There was no, he just like left. Dimitri left with his brother. And he's like, I'll be back. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, right. All right. Okay. And then he comes back in an hour, which I was surprised. You know, I have to go to work on Friday morning, so I was like, okay. So, so then he comes back, and I'm like, so what's the story? Is he like visiting? Like, how did he find where you live? Like, how did he find me? Like, is he have a hotel? And Dimitri didn't give me any information. He didn't know. I don't know. Dimitri is going to turn 35 on Groundhog's Day. So then Friday morning happens, And I'm getting ready for work, and I'm like to Dimitri, I'm like, so what are you guys gonna do today? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my brother. And by the way, his brother has like this gigantic friend that's like 6'6" and like 350 pounds, like this huge dude that's with him. He's like, I'm gonna hang out with my brother. I'm like, okay. Like, where are you guys gonna go? Like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, how are you gonna meet up? He's like, oh, we're probably gonna meet up around 10. I'm like, okay, like, are you guys gonna come in my house? Like, are you gonna, he's like, no, there's no reason why they need to come into your apartment. No. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, he's like, no, I won't bring them in here. There's no reason for them to come in here. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I'm kind of like offended. Like, you didn't even introduce me. You didn't like, like, hey, this is the girl I've been with for the past 3.5 years. Like, there was no, because I've like brought Dimitri into my family, both my dad and my mom's side. Like, he's always been included. And I had never met any of Dimitri's family. Dimitri had actually accused me of talking to his brother behind his back. He's like, I know you're telling my brother secrets about me. And I'm like, I've never even talked to your brother. I don't know your brother. But he would often like accuse me of like having like this back conversation with his brother. I'm like, I don't even know how to contact your brother. Like, I don't know him. And his mom did try to contact me back in the day when we first got together. And Dimitri told me to block her. He's like, block her. I don't want you talking to her. I'm like, okay, so I did. I blocked her on YouTube. But, so I never talked to his mom. I never talked to his brother. And, so then Friday morning, I leave for work. I had a horrible day at work. Like, spontaneous review happened where one of the doctors came in and told me, like, we don't want you writing the note this way. We want you to write it this way. After she had already told me to write it a certain way, like notes. She's like, we want you to write it in complete sentences, and you're taking too long, and, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And so that made me really upset. And then she's like, we don't care about this. We don't care about that. We don't care about that they've had surgeries. We don't care about that. I'm like, okay. So that was at the end of the day on Friday. So then I come home and I'm upset. Come home and there's Dimitri's brother's truck parked in my driveway when I get home. Okay. Walk into the door. Dimitri's brother and this giant friend is sitting on my couch. They don't even get up to say hi to me. Like, they just like, oh, hi. And I'm like standing there in my scrubs in my own house. And Dimitri's like, I made pancakes. I'm like, okay. And I could see he had been like entertaining them. Like, he had made coffee and cookies and like, all right. After he had told me he was not going to bring them in my house. And so then I'm like standing there in my hallway of my own apartment. They don't even get up like to let me sit down. I'm like in my scrubs, and Sergey immediately starts asking me if I know where to get nitrous oxide. And I'm like, I don't know where to get nitrous oxide. You'd have to go to a dentist or something. I don't know. He's like asking me, oh, so you work in medical? And like, yeah, I basically like a doctor. And he was asking me if I'd been to Canada before, and I asked him like how he found me, like how did you find where I live? And he basically didn't want to tell me. He's like, I have people, and I know how to do things. I'm like, okay. Because I had asked Dimitri, like, did you contact your brother? Like, because I had encouraged Dimitri. I'm like, you should call your brother. Like, you should see what he's up to. And, like, maybe you can go stay with him in Canada. And, he can help you get back on your feet. And Dimitri's like, no, I'm not talking to that guy. He fucked me over with money. And I'm not talking to him. And then he would accuse me of talking to him behind his back. I'm like, no, you should reconnect with your family. You you don't even know if your grandma's still alive. You should call your mom. Like, you haven't talked to your mom in forever. He's like, no, I'm not talking to them. So I'm like, what did you guys do today? And he's like, oh, we went to the hot springs and the guy kicked us out. And then Sergey showed me a video on his phone of them, you know, discovering these hot springs up in the hills or something. And then Dimitri's like, the whole time he has this like nervous energy, and he's like, I made pancakes. I'm like, I don't want pancakes. And he like has his whole packed up. He has his whole like backpack packed up, and he's like bringing it to the door, all like set up, like he's like, we're going to go on a trip. We're going to go on a trip for the weekend. And I'm like, all right, where are you going to go? He's like, we're going to go to LA. We're going to go to Hollywood. I'm like, okay, what's in Hollywood? Like, what are you guys going to do? And so he's like, oh, there's some shops I want to check out. I'm like, okay. And then basically, Dimitri's like, okay, let's go. And I'm literally still standing there in my hallway, in my scrubs, still my work clothes on, like I just walked in the door. And Dimitri's like, okay, let's go. And they're like, all right, we'll get out of your hair. And they just walk out like, okay, we'll be back after the weekend. And I'm like, Dimitri, can I talk to you for a second? Like, can I tell you something? And he's like, what do you need to tell me? He's like walking out the front door with all of his shit. And I'm like, can you come in for a second? Can I tell you something? Like, I need to talk to you. And he's like, what? You can tell me right now. And he's like pulling the front door closed. And he's like, what is it? I'm like, Dimitri, can you come inside? Can I tell you? I need to talk to you. And he's like, no, you can tell me right now. And then he just like closed the door and starts walking to his brother's truck to get in the truck. And I like walk out to follow him, and I'm like totally calm. I'm not upset. And I'm like, he's getting in the back seat, packing and putting his stuff in the back. And I'm like, Dimitri, can I tell you something really quickly? Can I talk to you? And then his brother in the front seat kind of like leans back to Dimitri, like, are you gonna go talk to her? And he's kind of just like, go. And they just pull out of my driveway and drive away. And I'm just like, what the motherfucker? Like, are you serious? I was going to tell him I bought him a ticket to Canada, but he wouldn't even, it was like the most disrespectful, you know, after everything that I've done for this man. Paid for things, like I've like, you know, given him a place to live, like things to eat, like he's just like, I'm just like, so like, he's just a user. It's just like, I'm so disposable. And then they, you know, just drive off. I'm like, okay, like that's, wow. And it was just like this is like the AI Matrix. Like, I freaking bought a ticket for him to fly back to Canada, and his brother shows up knocking on my doorstep. Like, how does that happen? Like, how can the timing be like that? Like, it's fucking weird. It's so weird. And then yesterday morning, I get a phone call from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Pick it up. It's, you know, Dimitri on his brother's phone, because Dimitri doesn't have a phone. And Dimitri's like, hey, are you making coffee? And I'm like, where are you guys? He's like, oh, we're in LA, and we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here a few days. Probably come back on Monday. And I'm like, a few days, like, so Monday. And he's like, yeah, Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, okay, Tuesday. And I could hear him like talking to his brother. He's like, oh, I don't know. But he's like, Tuesday. And I'm like, well, like, are you going to be till Wednesday? And the other thing is that Dimitri still had my key. He left with my key to my house. So, like, you know, he already disrespected the fact that we had agreed that he wasn't going to let his brother and this other dude into my house when I wasn't there. And he already disrespected that and brought them in without me there. and he still had my key. So I'm like, are you going to come back on Wednesday? He's like, no, not Wednesday, Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, okay. And, you know, this was on the phone Saturday morning. And then I was like, he's like, what did you want to tell me when I was leaving? What was it that you wanted to tell me? And he's like, I'm bringing you back chocolates. I'm going to bring you back chocolates. What did you want to tell me when I was leaving? I'm like, yeah, that was like the most disrespectful thing. Like, you wouldn't even let me say something to you. You wouldn't. He's like, yeah, sorry, I was in a rush. And I said, I was going to tell you that I already bought a ticket for you to go to Canada, like we had discussed. I bought a ticket to Edmonton, like you had requested, because we had talked about it. I asked him where he wanted me to buy him a ticket to. Like, did he want me to buy him a ticket to Victoria, to Vancouver? He told me he wanted me to buy him a ticket to Edmonton, so I did. I was like, I was going to tell you that I bought you a ticket, and that the plane leaves next Saturday. And it's he's like, oh, well, you can get your money back. I'm like, I can't get my money back. It's non-refundable. And he's like, oh, well, thanks for telling me. And then I'm like, so I don't know if you like want to go with your brother or what. And then he just like hangs up on me, basically. He just hangs up. So then I don't know, you know, if he's coming back to get, so he left a few things left behind. So I don't know if he's like going to come back to get his things, like if he's just going to stay out with his brother. So, you know, my parents are like, you need to change the locks. You need to like put his stuff out and give it to the police. If he wants his stuff, you should give it to the police. So then, and then I'm like, you know, I don't, oh, and I had asked him before he hung up, I'm like, if you come back, I don't want you to come back when I'm not here. Like, I want, like, if you're going to come back, I want to be here. Like, I don't want you here without me here. And he's like, okay. And then he hangs up. So then I get a call. So I'm expecting to have some kind of, so today I woke up and I'm like, do I need to go to Home Depot and change the locks? Like, so he doesn't come into my house when I'm not here with his brother. And like, his brother seems kind of shady. Like, he like, you know, found where I live and stuff. Like, he's kind of like asking about nitrous oxide and crap. Like, I don't know what they're capable of. Like, I don't know if they're going to like steal from me or, and his brother like didn't have any respect for me whatsoever. Like, there was no, you know, oh, thanks for taking care of my brother, you know. I can just tell there's like all kinds of misogyny going on, and it's like Dimitri just totally reverted to like this little brother, like whatever big brother says, even though he had no intention of ever talking to him again. But once his brother showed up, he's like, oh, big brother, you know, whatever you say, I'm your sidekick. So then I get a call this morning from the Calgary number again, and Dimitri's like, oh, did you make coffee? And I'm like, no, not yet. And he's like, I want you to send me a screenshot of you making coffee. I'm like, what? And he's like, well, we're going to be there in half an hour. I'm like, what, all of you are going to be here? Or? And then he just hangs up. I'm like, okay. So then I get my butt out of bed and, you know, prepare for them to come over. I don't know. Then I get, you know, the knock on my door. It's Dimitri. His brother and this other dude stay out in the car on my driveway. Dimitri's kind of just like, here, hold this. And he hands me his like drawings that he draws. And he's like, I'm going to go to Canada. I'm like, okay, are you going to stay with your brother? And he's like, yeah. Like, he doesn't want to tell me any information. I have to like pull it. I'm like, so like, what about the plane ticket? Like, he's like, show me on your phone the plane ticket. I'm like, okay. Like, do you want to get the rest of your stuff? Like, he was just going to leave. I'm like, you want to get the rest of your stuff? He's like, yeah, I'll get the rest of my stuff. So he's getting his stuff. And I'm like, so where is this house? And he's like, oh, it's in BC and it's up in the mountains. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to live with your brother? And he's like, oh, my grandma's going blind. So I'm like, so your brother lives with your grandma? And he's like, they have a house. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so, and he had like a sage stick, and he was like, here for me, like I want his stupid smudge stick. And I asked if he wanted to take the bike, like take the electric bike that he blew out the tires on, and he's like, no, you could give that to somebody. And he was just like rushing out the door, like he didn't really want to say goodbye to me. He didn't, just like zero emotion. And he's like, there's no work for me here, so I'm gonna go up to Canada. And so he's just gonna go sit on his butt in Canada and I guess hang out with his grandma, which is fine. I mean, they can take care of him now. I'm done taking care of him financially. But I'm like, okay, well, and then I pulled out my piece of paper that had the ticket on there and how much it was. And I'm like, so, I guess I have to eat the ticket. And because he had told me before that he was going to, when we talked about me potentially buying him a plane ticket before I actually did it, that once he gets to Canada and it works, he'll send me the money for it. And I was like, okay, yeah, right. And so I gave him the piece of paper with the ticket on it. And I was like, I guess I'm just going to have to eat this then? You're not going to, he's like, no. And he takes the paper and I'm like, he's like, I'll take this. I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, you've been so disrespectful to me. Just like, I'm just so disposable to you. Like, you just like walk out, like, and so then I'm like, so I guess that's it. I guess I'm never gonna see you again. Like, he's like, oh no, and he gives me a hug, and he's like, do you want to say goodbye to my brother? And I'm like, your brother doesn't fucking respect me at all. Like, why would I go say bye to your brother? Like, he doesn't care about me. Like, he doesn't respect me. And they were all still hanging out. They stayed in the car. They didn't even come up to the door. So he's like, okay then, bye. And he just walked out and left. So that's that. I just find it so fucking weird that I finally made the motion because he wasn't going to get rid of himself. He was going to, like, I had given him deadlines to find a job, and the deadline came and passed, and he was still just, like, hanging out at my place all day while I'm at work, and, like, it needed me to, like, actually purchase the plane ticket for him to go. And, like, literally 2 days later, his brother knocks on my door in the middle of the night. Like, how does that happen? And now he's gone with his brother. Now that he's gone back to Canada, like, how, like there is no coincidences. Like, and the that Thursday that Dimitri's brother knocked on my door, Dimitri and I got home, like, while it was still light outside, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the sunset. I'm gonna go watch the sunset that Thursday. And Dimitri's like, I'm gonna come with you. I'm like, okay. So we go to the beach right here, and it looked like there was these dark dragons over the sunset, like these like condensed weird clouds that looked like a dragon, and the way they were backlit, they were like this dark purple. And then somebody, and then I made that post on Friday after they left to LA, no coincidences, I'm alone on a Friday. And somebody wrote, oh, I saw dragons in the sky and then all this bad stuff happened with my family. I'm like, yeah, I saw a dragon too. And that night, Sergey banged on my door. It's just fucking weird. It's like they're like Matrix agents that came to like collect him or something. It's fucking weird. So at least I don't have to change my locks and go through all of that. But yeah, I just feel like totally used and disposable and disrespected, and like all of that was for nothing. Like there was no, just like, yeah, thanks for the life for 3.5 years. Yeah, like there was no thanks. It was just like, bye, I'm going. My brother's here, I'm going now. Okay, bye. So yeah, so I walked out to the beach here and I met up some of my neighbors, and they're like, one of my neighbor introduced me to another neighbor, and she's like, oh, she's with Dimitri. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's gone. She's like, oh, where'd he go? I'm like, no, he's gone. Like, we're done. She's like, oh, well, you didn't say that. She's like, now we're all single on this street. And then she invited me to this paint and play, like this paint classroom workshop. And she's like, we're all single, like we need to hang out, like we're gonna all do stuff. So it's like, now I might have like a group of girls to like hang out with, single. So yeah, it was just like, Friday was like the hardest day at work, like just having that spontaneous review, and like where my boss was like criticizing, like after she had told me like how to write, she's like, I used to write it in complete sentences, and then she's like, don't do that. She's like, just write diarrhea, blah blah blah, just like little bullet points. And so I was doing that, and then she comes back and says, oh, you need to stop writing it like this, you need to write in complete sentences. It's like, so it's just this, these weird things. Let's see if I can read your comments. Hi, thanks everybody guys for chatting. Drew is such a hater. Like, Drew's all up my ass. Like, for reals. Is this finally gonna give you enough content, Drew, to like make a video again? Hi, Benton. Tom Spaces asked Grace though for dating advice. Yeah, how to date your father. Did you guys see that stream where she was filming her dad in the bathtub? She like broke in to her dad's in the bathroom. He was taking a bath, and she like broke in because she had to see her dad naked. Like, so weird. And she was talking about how she was massaging his neck, and then he bit her hand. Like, ew. Like, she was like spooning with her dad, massaging his neck. Like, so weird. Yeah, I don't need dating advice from Grace, incest girl. Hi, Julius May. Give us an update on your new mattress. Well, it's great. Dimitri like never slept on it, so it's not contaminated. It's organic. I think it's called the Ojai, but it's a organic natural mattress. Did you give him the ticket home yet? Well, yeah, I handed him the paperwork today when he came, and he's not going to use it though because the ticket's out of LAX a week from now. reading the chat now. Get chalked up says you pulled the dump trigger before she could. That's why she big mad. Yeah, I'm so big mad. Yeah. Dan, the true Dan show says that sucks. Sorry you don't deserve. Yeah, thank you. I didn't get dumped. I can't get a refund for the ticket. Yeah, it was a non-refundable. I could only have gotten a refund if I canceled within the first 24 hours. Yeah. Dan says, Kim actually empathetic and compassionate person, so settle, bro. Trolling is so 2023, for reals. Crosshatch says, you'll see him again, guaranteed, might be a while, but he'll be back. Yeah, I have a feeling that he thinks that, I don't know. It's just so fucked up. Like all of that history, all of that time together, and he's just like bye. Like there's no. It's just like a sociopath or something. Or that he could just like walk out without letting me. Like what a coward. Like what a freaking. He wouldn't even let me talk to him privately before he left to LA with his brother. I think he thought I was going to be mad about him bringing them into my house after he told me he wasn't going to do that. But I actually was going to tell him I bought him a ticket already. But he wouldn't even like give me the time to talk to me. Like, what was he so afraid of? But then he calls me the next morning like, hey, I'm going to bring you chocolates. Like, I don't want your stupid chocolates that Sergey had to buy for you to give to me. Like he has zero money, like zero money. So everything he eats, he has to be provided for. So Sergey can take care of him, his grandma can take care of him, his mom can take care of him. That'll be just fine. Yeah, he gave me back the keys. Get chalked up. He didn't take the bike though. I wanted him to take the electric bike. Poor communication, that's on you if you planned on booting him. I was going to tell him on Friday, and then we would have had like the weekend and the week to prepare, and I was going to have to rent a car to drive him to the airport, like invest money in for him to go. Tom Space says, this is the guy from 3 years ago. Yeah. Treedan says, surprise vacation to Canada. Well, yeah, he won't be able to come back. Like, he overstayed his welcome here by far. Drew says, it's not the AI Matrix. He knew because you guys had talked about it. No, but we had talked about it a bunch of times, and I still hadn't bought the ticket. And when we talked about it, and I had brought up, like, hey, do you want me to buy you a ticket to Victoria or Canada? Or Victoria or Vancouver or where you want to go, like you would expect him to be like, I don't want to go, like let's work it out. He'd just be like, oh, Edmonton. Like there was just, he wouldn't try to fight it. Like he'd just be like, oh, Edmonton. I'm like, okay. Dimitri called his brother and said, bro, come save me from this. Dimitri doesn't have a phone. There's no way he could have called his brother. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have internet. He lost his phone. He lost his phone like a month ago while he was looking for work and riding his bike around my beach town that I really haven't gotten to enjoy. Like, look, a ladybug. It was kind of aggravating because I'm like fucking grinding at work every day, and he's literally like reaping the rewards of my effort by being on the beach all day long while I'm at work. And he, like, the phone just slipped out of his pocket. That was like his one asset that he had, and he just lost it. So he didn't have a phone. Yeah. Drew, it would be fun if you could have him as a guest. Yeah. Creator Mom says he probably called his brother to pick him up. Yeah, there's no way for him to call. I mean, he was genuinely surprised when Sergey was at the door. Wow, they didn't even, I think they did go to LA. I don't know what they did. Hi, Benton. Oh, I skipped over all these. Yeah, he didn't dump me before I dumped him. I had already bought the ticket. So, I don't, that, like, Rachel says, I'd feel better if the locks were changed. Kamor says, do you really care where he's staying or just making conversation? Drew says, she wanted to break up with him and he did it first and she's completely bewildered and can't figure out why. What are you talking about? Like, that's not even the narrative. Be More Busker says, sounds sketchy, Aphrodite. It is super sketchy. Mark says, the good news is you're back on the market. Bad news is Drew is already taken. Shadow and Light says, ew, you're kind of leaving some creepy messages here, CBO. Yeah, for reals. He's like obsessed. G-Mark says he's laughing at you for wasting your money. Probably. Gut Chalked Up says, creepy. It's the reality she can't face. What reality? Like, what are you talking about? Dimitri was going to stay as long as he possibly could and milk it out as long as he possibly could. And we hadn't even been romantic for a really long time. He was sleeping on the couch. So if he wanted to leave, he could have left at any time. Creator Mom says, it's like you must have known it was time. Yeah. She ain't bad about the breakup. She mad about eating the cost of the ticket. Jimrick says, awkward. Be More Best says, get chalked up. You doing any more lives? Shadow Light says, I've seen how you have communicated with her over the last year. It's creepy. Thanks, Shadow and Light. It is creepy. Drew's a creepo. Drew says, Dimitri has a good brother. He came to the rescue, I guess. Sergey had said, like, oh, I've been trying to message you on Facebook, and my mom has been trying to message you on Facebook. And I'm like, I'm not even on Facebook. Like, I don't have access. Like, I don't go on Facebook. And he kind of gave me this look like he didn't believe me. And then I was able to go on to, like, because my apps don't work on my phone because my phone's so old. I was able to go onto Facebook through the internet, like through the web browser. And I could see he tried to add me as a friend. And I added him and I added his mom. But I can't see the messages. Like, the messenger doesn't work. But it was recent. It wasn't like for a long time they were trying to talk to me. Mark says, day late and a return flight ticket short now. Get Chalked Up says, Busker, hopefully I'll be back soon. Internet Guy says he must have been 6 feet plus. Shadowlight says, okay. Get Chalked Up says, no, it's not a Matrix agent. He has family that loves him and is worried about him and came through to help him. Okay, family he didn't even want anything to do with. Like, I was encouraging him to get in contact with his family because I was like, you should go back with your family. Like, they'll help you. And he's like, no. So whatever, I mean. Kid Chocolate says, lesbian pottery club. Haha. Yeah, you're here. You want to joke about my life and you're here on my stream. So what does that say? Dan says, keep shining, girl. Thanks. It's never easy. Hugs. Thank you. Mark says, Drew loves you. I think so. Drew's obsessed. Be More Busker says, what up, Aphrodite, Rose Starfire? What up, Be More Busker? Hey, Benton. Get Chalked Up says, Dimitri World Order Live. Yeah, I mean, even after I told him that I bought him a ticket over the phone when he was in LA, he still came back and brought me, like, presents and stuff. Like, I don't... It's just weird. It's like, it's very immature. He's just very immature. I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of glad I'm moving on and, you know, a new chapter, somebody that actually I can be with somebody that's more on my wavelength and I don't have to support them financially. Shadowlight says, stalker trolley energy for sure. Yes. Gamork says, Drew, it would be fun if you could have him as a guest. So, okay, I already ones. Beamer Busker says, Shadow Light says, I hope you move on even without closure. Yeah, Beamer Busker says, trail clouds in the sky. Gimork says, I hope he wasn't banging broads in your bed. I mean, I hope not either. I don't think he was seducing anybody. Dimitri literally had pulled out all of his hair, all the way up to like here, all the way in the back. He had like just wispy strands of long hair just off the top that he would always just pull back into a low ponytail. He had like pulled out all of his hair just from nervously pulling it out. And I'm like, Dimitri, you need to cut your hair. Like, you need to cut your hair. The long hair is not working anymore. You have like 3 strands of long hair. You can't even wear it down anymore. You always have to have it in this like limp dick little ponytail. Like, cut your hair. It will look so much better. And he wouldn't do it. Maybe his brother will get him to cut his hair. But yeah, I mean, he has 0 money. I don't know what kind of, it's not like he can buy a girl to drink or something. Just be like, hey, you want to come back to my girlfriend's apartment? I'll screw you on her bed. Yeah, I don't think that was happening. Jesus, Aphrodite Cope Starfire. Wow. Mark says, no, he beat you to the punch. Get Chalked Up says, wow, Aphrodite, real talk, you're in serious denial. How am I in denial? In denial about what? So, anyways, that's what I'm going through. I'm single! Woo! Getting sunburned. Woo! I mean, it's good. I'm ready to be moving on to do things, meet new people on the beach. So, yeah. You guys all watching the Super Bowl? I wonder how much they're going to show Taylor Swift. Oh, and the other thing too is recently my stepdad's mother, Valerie, died like 2 weeks ago. She was the grandma in North Carolina that I visited that had the sombrero. We took her out for her birthday to a Mexican restaurant. She died. And then shortly after, yesterday, my stepmom's mother died. So both my step-parents' parents died, like within a week and a half period. So Lisa, my stepmom, her mom just died yesterday. And both of their names started with V. Valerie was my stepdad's mom, and Virginia was my stepmom's mom. So Virginia and Valerie died. So there's that. They're in a better place, I guess. So lots of chapters closing, new chapters starting. The weather has totally changed. It's like super warm. It's really warm. Like it feels like summer. Thanks, Marlene. Yeah, my Valerie in North Carolina, that was a real sudden thing. She fell off the bed, and then they took her to the hospital, and they said she had pneumonia, and they were going to send her home, and then my parents fought them from sending her home, and then overnight she like coded and was like brain dead for 10 minutes, and even though she had a do not resuscitate, they still resuscitated her and got her back onto a ventilator. And then they had to make the horrible decision to like unplug the ventilator basically after it was already established she had a do not resuscitate. So that was really pretty messed up. But Virginia, that was more expected. She had been in a care home for a while and slowly deteriorated, and she wasn't like responsive, or like she was, you know, had really severe dementia and stuff. So that one was a little bit more expected, but Valerie wasn't. So yeah, look at these people take pictures of their dog. So everybody's enjoying the beautiful weather. 40 people, thanks for joining. I'm single, ready to mingle. Can you guys see the chemtrail? I can't see if you see it. Okay. Super chems. Nos Amamatcha. Yeah, that's who I was talking about you earlier about the dragons. Yeah, this is the person who wrote about the dragons. I just left you 3 more comments about deaths and family weirdness with clouds models. Thanks for replying. Sorry, thank you. El Sharpo says she didn't get dumped. He was a mooch loser. She deserves it, and will find much better. Thank you, El Sharpo. Yeah. So on to bigger and brighter things. I just need to switch up my schedule though for my work, because I mean, I guess it will be better as it gets lighter when I get off at 5. It'll be more lighter and I can maybe do things after work, but yeah, it's like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It's like hits. And having the weekend. So I don't know, like, do I just like go to a bar and like hang out? Go get a beer at the beach? I guess everybody's gonna be partying for hi Jeff Snarder. What's up, Jeff? Jeff says Drew is a psychic vampire who smells blood in the water and came to get his fix of loosh. I know, for reals. Hi, Enslaved by Truth, what up? Marlene says, is he still in California? Probably. I mean, he left my place around 10:45. So California's a pretty big place. I'm sure he's still in it. He's probably in, I don't know, Pismo Beach area, maybe Slow, San Luis Obispo. I don't know. I don't really care. I honestly don't care. So, woo! Yeah, even though like he'd go through spurts of like trying to be really nice and like, oh, you know, let me give you a kiss and stuff, and I just wasn't doing it. Like I knew he needed to go, and I wasn't going to keep on like investing emotional stuff into him. So it was a slow detachment, but it was just I can't fathom that I finally bought the ticket and then his brother shows up, and I still can't figure out how his brother found where I am. It's really weird. It's a dragon. Yeah, it's happened today. Hi, Toilet Bowl Earth. Wow, we got the whole gang. Did you know Toilet Bowl Earth? Did you know Grace Thorpe has a crush on you? She admitted it. It's because you look like her dad. She said that she thinks you're cute. should get that incest action. Peyton says, El Chapeau, I'm sure she'll find someone to be with. Marlene says, this yeah, good for you. You'll be happier. I think so. TLDR. I don't know what TLDR stands for. She was going to dump him, and he dumped her first, and R's mad and in denial. No, I don't think that's correct. No, he was, until I told him that I bought him a plane ticket, he was talking about bringing me back chocolates and stuff. So I don't think there was any dumping on his part first. He's just going with his brother because his brother's here. Enslaved says, is this Dimitri or a new guy? No, Dimitri. The guy that's been around for the past 3.5 years. Yeah. So, thanks all for joining. I'm glad to have so many people in the chat. I think I'm going to go inside so I don't get, like, burned. You'll always be our bro, Dimitri. Swing by a stream. You don't do streams anymore, Drew. You're lame. You're a lame-ass loser. So, you should have, like, the incest clan on your show. Get the Thorpes on. You don't have a show anymore. What am I talking about? You don't even stream anymore. So go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, I'm going to go. Thanks for joining. On to bigger and brighter things. Yeah. So it's like the Matrix works really weirdly. I think it has to do too with Dimitri's birthday. It's Groundhog's Day, 2/2. And there's something weird about that going on. I don't know, maybe Super Bowl. I just feel like there's a lot of, it's like things are on the precipice right now, like on the border, you know, like something's about to snap. Like something like is about to happen really big. I just kind of feel it. And it just needed that inertia to go. Like I finally made the effort, and then it like took on its own thing. Like I still would have driven him to the airport and put him on the plane. We would have had some more like a week long at least of closure, but it just happened. Like the universe took over for me, like banging on my door out of nowhere. Like this Ukrainian mobster dude named Sergey asking me about nitrous oxide. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you in my house? Like, so, yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Thanks for joining. I'm going to peace out.